What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So I'm watching FS1 Undisputed this morning, and Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless are going at each other's heads about the play of Tom Brady recently. Tom Brady played like trash. Was it last night? He played like trash yesterday. He played like trash yesterday. And Shannon Sharpe let Skip Bayless know it because Skip Bayless is a huge Tom Brady fan. He talked about how Tom Brady's play has been inconsistent all year. He hasn't been playing well all year. And Skip Bayless has a love affair with Tom Brady, so he went off and snapped, right? He started saying that Shannon Sharpe is jealous of the fact that Tom Brady is playing at age 45 and Shannon had to retire at 35. And Shannon was like, what does that have to do with anything? My career, I did what I did. I'm a Hall of Famer. You act like I'm just chopped liver. I'm paraphrasing, but you act like I was a bum. Right? I'm a Hall of Famer. And to which Skip replies, so what, right? And he told Shannon, he was better than you. He's a better player than you were, right? Going off. So at that point, Shannon Sharpe lost it. Shannon Sharpe takes off his glasses and he looks at Skip and say, wait a minute. You willing to take a personal shot at me because I say Tom Brady is playing bad this year? You're willing to disrespect me to support him. You're willing to disrespect me to support him. First of all, man, I'm going to say this. Skip Bayless out his damn mind. Tom Brady played terrible. He did, right? And people can criticize Tom Brady for sure. Now, Shannon has overdone it with the Tom Brady criticisms and, the critiques of Tom Brady at times. But yesterday he was today he was 100% accurate. Tom Brady did not play well. He hasn't been playing that great this year. And it is what it is. Skip Bayless just doesn't want anybody to tell the truth about Shannon, and for him to try to discredit Shannon's status as a Hall of Famer, to try to downplay it and poo-poo it because Shannon is criticizing the great Tom Brady, that's clowned out. That's lame. That's lame for real, and Skip is out of his damn mind for that. The moment when Skip told him, put your glasses back on, that's when you probably, boy, I know Shannon wanted to reach across that table and smack the spit out of Skip's mouth. I know Shannon wanted to reach back with that John Henry hand. Shannon got them hands and arms like he been working in the steel mill all his life. I know he wanted to reach back and smack fire from his ass. I know he did, right? But, this is honestly, when I saw this, I didn't feel no way. I didn't feel hurt for Shannon Sharpe. I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel any type of way because the interesting thing that he said. He told Skip Bayless, you would disrespect me to support him? You're willing to take a personal shot at me because I said he was playing bad this year? You would disrespect me to support him. In the moment he said that, I was like, wow. But Shannon, you are one and the same because you were willing to disrespect your HBCU, your school, Savannah State University, and all HBCUs in favor of your buddy, your good pal, your homeboy, your right-hand man, Deion Primetime Sanders, right? And like I said before in the video I made, Shannon was so upset that people were criticizing Prime and, how he handled him leaving Jackson State. He was so mad that people were saying stuff about his friend, he had to come out and let us know he wouldn't have went to no historically black college if he would have had grades in the first place. He wouldn't have never went there. And the way he said it, it was on by word, right? He typed it out on his phone, but he was out here telling people he would have never went to Savannah State if he had the grades. He wouldn't have went there. That wasn't his first choice, right? And I said to myself, and he didn't follow it up by saying anything good about Savannah State. He didn't follow it up by saying Savannah State gave me an opportunity when the predominantly white institutions told me I wasn't smart enough and I wasn't good enough academically to perform in their arena. He didn't say that the HBCU ranks allowed me to live out my dream of being a student athlete when the predominantly white institutions told me no. He didn't follow it up with that at all. He just had to tell the world and poke his chest out and say, I wouldn't have went to no HBCU in the first place. That I wouldn't have went to no HBCU if I had the grades. I would have never went. All that, right? Being spiteful and mad because you're upset that people are critiquing your friend. And you're not thinking about the greater good of black folks and this HBCU movement that we're trying to push, right? We're trying to make steps to progress, to push HBCUs forward and uplift them. And in the time when we're doing that, we're trying to go through this whole HBCU renaissance. Shannon Sharpe, a person with an extremely big platform, a big voice, an extremely humongous following, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever. Shannon Sharpe is a figure that's really beloved. Some people don't like him, but he's really beloved on TV, right? He uses his big platform to take a dump on HBCUs and tell the world and poke his chest out by saying, I would have never went there, right? And some people would say, what's wrong? He's telling the truth, right? And I'm sure a lot of guys probably would want to go to Power 5 schools, a lot of athletes for sure, right? Especially if they had the grades or whatever. But it's a time and place for everything. Sometimes, bro, you better keep your honesty to yourself for the upliftment and the betterment of our community, for the greater good of what we're trying to push for our black kids. We don't want our black kids to feel inferior when they're going to the Savannah States, the Mississippi Valley State Universities, when they're going to Alcorn State, when they're going to Shaw University, when they're going to Wilberforce, when they're going to Tougaloo. We don't want them to feel less than. We don't want them to feel like they are levels beneath the Power 5 schools when it comes to going to these schools and getting educated. And we don't want them to devalue their HBCU education. We don't want others to devalue their HBCU experience and education, right? So you want to always speak well on them. We don't want to trash them. The way Shannon Sharpe came around and had to tell the world he would have never went there in the first place because he's so mad that we talking about Deion, that people were criticizing Deion, right? That people were criticizing Deion for certain things. And some people went way above, across the line, and saying Deion wasn't, calling him a sellout. I was never calling Deion no sellout because I would have took the money too. I criticized him for things that he did upon the announcement of his departure that I did not like and I didn't agree with, right? So, and this is the thing, but you don't let the ignorance of some people calling him a sellout go out and make you just undermine the whole HBCU movement and throw it under the bus. Because people will look at that and say, see, Shannon didn't even want to go there. He's still talking about he would have never went there. He's proudly saying he would have never went to no HBCU. Look at that. Look at what Shannon's saying. So, hey, the HBCU experience is trash too, and it's giving people ammunition to shit on and trash HBCUs because Shannon, they already doing it anyway, but hell, if Shannon Sharpe, if Uncle Shannon does it, all credence to it. It gives us all the credence to do so. We're justified in our stances because Shannon Sharpe, even after he got drafted out of the HBCU, mind you, he went late round, but he still got drafted, right? He went 7th round. But even after he got drafted out of the HBCU, Shannon Sharpe saying he's still proudly saying he would have never went to the HBCU. He would have never went to Savannah State if he had the grades. And Shannon knew he was wrong, so the next day he came on Undisputed, FS1 Undisputed. I hope I didn't say First Take. He went on FS1 Undisputed and basically said that, I would have never went back. I would have never changed it. I would do it all over again. I would have never changed it. He had to clean that up because he know he was wrong for that, right? But the damage was already done. And it was just egregious, the type of that when he did that, So I didn't feel no type of way. Like when he oh my God, Skip, you willing to trash me, take a personal shot at me all for Tom Brady? Yeah, brother, it is what it is because you were willing to take a shot and trash HBCUs and people were like, he just told his truth. But again, when Shannon Sharpe tell the world he would have never went there if it wasn't for his grades. Some stuff keep to yourself. Keep that shit to yourself. Sometimes black folks, we as black people got to keep certain stuff to ourselves for the greater good. For the greater good of our folks, for the betterment of our people. Close your mouth. And if you're going to say you didn't go, you better talk about all the things that the HBCU did for you. The fact that they let you fulfill your dream of being a student athlete and showcase your abilities to the NFL. Now, granted, when he was able to get on that field and showcase his abilities to the world, the other schools came calling for him from Savannah State, right? And the only way they was able to, and again, he was a great player in high school, but the way they was like, okay, they seeing that his skills is converting to the college level, to the collegiate level, albeit not within the FBS level, right? They still saw him being on the field and producing. They saw him on the field and producing because Savannah State took a chance on him as a Prop 48 kid and allowed him to get his grades up and still accepted him and still allowed him to be a student athlete. So the HBCU took a chance on him, not the predominantly white institutions. And I feel like when he went on Twitter poking his chest out about how he would have never went to no HBCU if he had the grades, that was the time for you to follow that up with some outstanding facts and outstanding things of what Savannah State University did for you and how you would do it all over again. Because he didn't say that on Twitter the night he was saying it. He followed it up on the show the next day to clean it up, right? But yeah, man, I didn't feel no type of way when Skip was saying Skip was crazy and out of line and out of pocket for it. But I'm looking like, yeah, Shannon, now you see how it feels. You're so mad. You're willing to disrespect the HBCU culture in the community, the institutions that educated our grandfathers and grandmothers. You're willing to poo-poo it and basically belittle it in a way, being snark about it, how you would have never went there, shoo it and poo-poo it. You're willing to do that. So you're willing to shun these institutions that were educating black folks when they couldn't get into the predominantly white institutions. That's why the HBCUs were created, right? You're willing to shun these HBCUs and trash them and throw them under the mud and throw them in the bushes and throw them in the dirt for prime time. You're willing to sacrifice the greater good of this HBCU movement that we pushing because you don't want nobody talking about your friend. You see the correlation between the two, Shannon? Skip riding for Tom Brady, he willing to throw you under the bus. You riding for prime time, you willing to throw the HBCU community under the bus. All HBCUs, even your own, under the bus for prime. And if it wasn't for Savannah State taking you in, and who knows if you would have been able, if you would have held on to if you would have went to the military. I think he talked about going to the military. Who knows if you would have went into the military and nobody would have ever knew who Shannon Sharpe was on a worldwide scale or a national scale, right? Because at first I think he told the story about his brother, his older brother, his big brother Sterling. He was going to go to the Army, and his brother say, well, wait a minute, you still got that scholarship from Savannah State, right? We'll call him and see if they still got it. And he went there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember Shannon saying something like that, right? And the HBCU accepted you with open arms and say, we got the scholarship for you, young black man, young black boy. Come to the school and get educated. We're going to allow you to be a student athlete. We're going to help you get your grades up to par and become a better student. Come on, black boy. They nurtured you and coached you up to be a better student. And that's what you should have said after you said loudly and proudly you would have never win if you had the grades in the first place. Because you weren't saying it just like, hey, I didn't want to go. You were saying it with your chest out because you was mad. People were saying stuff about your boy Prime. And you don't let your emotions overtake you so much that you throw away the community, or you you throw us under the train. You throw us under the bus, basically provoke you under the bus because you want to ride for your boy. Nah, that ain't cool. Sometimes you gotta put your emotions to the side on certain things and say, you know what, even though I'm mad, I can't belittle or undermine or poo-poo the HBCU experience because it's black kids that's going to HBCUs that still want to feel like their education and their experience is valued here. And if I trash it and say I would have never went, it's gonna be people that's like, look, Shannon Sharpe don't even respect it, and he went to HBCU. So why should we respect them kids that went there? So yeah, I didn't care. I really didn't care about none of that. Shannon got to learn, and now he sees it now he sees how it can feel when the shoe is on the other foot. When somebody that you know and you love, and excuse me, Skip is the one that got him the job at FS1 Undisputed anyway. Now granted, Shannon he is proving himself beyond measure, right? But Skip fought for Shannon to be on the show, and Shannon will tell you that, right? So I don't think he doesn't respect Shannon or he belittles him. He's just so pissed off that Shannon says things about his boy that he loves, Tom Brady, that he was willing to try to hurt Shannon's feelings and take a personal dig at Shannon because he was mad that he was talking about his boy Tom Brady. And now Shannon sees how it feels. You so mad that people talking about Prime, you was willing to take a shot at the HBCU community, even your own school basically, and try to poo-poo it and act like it wasn't nothing. So Shannon, now he see how it feels when you're being slighted. He got slighted and trashed in favor of Tom Brady. He slighted the HBCU experience and all of that in favor of Deion Sanders. Anytime you're willing to disrespect your own school, in favor of Deion, and Deion, he gonna be all right. He's a godlike figure in a world where sports giants are made deities. Deion is a godlike figure. He was going to be okay in rebound. I understand you taking up for your friend, but it's a way to take up for your boy without trashing certain institutions that, again, reared and educated our grandfathers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, great-grandfathers, moms, dads. It's not okay. It's not all right. Machiavelli Mills TV, I'm out. Peace.